out to an artist who has a passion for portraits. This man is fascinated by the detail of the human face, and he uses both a computer and an airbrush in his work.
My dream is painting. That's my passion. My day job, I'm a PC technician in PC World in the Parkway, and which I love. But the dream for me is to be able to do this full time. I just seem to gravitate towards portraits right from the start. I don't know why. I like painting faces, character, wrinkles, everything. You know, and catch the person onto canvas, the glint in the eye, you know, everything. When I used to draw years and years ago, and as a teenager, when I was doing pencil sketches and pen and ink was the type of art I was producing, I used to see airbrushing in American magazines and on cars and on motorbikes, and I always liked the effect and the texture that could be gotten from an airbrush, and it always interested me. So the last 2.5 years ago, I just said, right, I want to get back into art. Bought an airbrush and just basically went for it. I didn't go to art college, I didn't go to any school of any type to learn art. I always just picked up a pen or a pencil and just always was able to draw. So I've done the same thing with the airbrush. I just picked it up, went for it, and gradually just getting better and better with each portrait. So I've only done about 15 portraits up to now. This one, it's a commission for a client, Declan Finn. It's a portrait of himself and his son. When I prepare for a picture, before I go near the canvas or paint, do anything, so I would spend about 2 days in Photoshop because I need to bring out certain things that I want to see. I will put it through colour, black and white, enhance certain details, make it very bright, and make it dark in some parts as well. But I need to see as much detail as I physically can, and I will use a combination of colour pictures and black and white and get a balance between both. We'd start off with a blank canvas, of course. I'd put a pencil sketch of the subject that I'm painting, make sure it's to scale, everything is correct, proportions are correct. And then just slowly and surely, just very light layers. It kind of looks like a pencil sketch, it goes on so light. I maybe put on 1 layer, 2 layers, and I'll come in with an eraser and start building up skin tone, bringing out highlights. For example, the hair is created with a scalpel. I'd give a light layer of the airbrush on it and start to scalpel out the hair. I'll go in again, build up the layer with paint, re-scalpel it again, go in again with another layer, and keep doing that until I'm happy with the texture. The hair looks like hair, there's depth, there's 3D in the painting. Same goes with the skin. Just keep building up the texture until it looks like skin. You can see shading, you can see pores, and basically knowing when to stop when you think you have it right is the big thing. Well, the airbrush itself, it's a very intricate tool. It works off an air compressor. And in the top we have a little cup which is gravity fed the paint down into the nozzle. We have a trigger unit that basically you press it down, the air comes out, and when you depress back the trigger you get your paint flow. Now a lot of the control is a knack to it. You know, paint density, the distance from the canvas, and your air pressure are basically the 3 factors that you have to fight sometimes and struggle with. But the end result is texture and shading that a normal brush cannot compete with. This is a Richard Harris portrait I've done, typically from the movie Gladiator, as Marcus Aurelius, and each strand of hair is actually physically scalpelled out. This painting is a perfect example of the different kinds of techniques that I would use. I decided to paint a portrait of Tiger Woods because I knew JP McManus's Golf Pro-Am was coming up, and I knew he'd be at it amongst other celebrities. So I painted Tiger Woods over 4 nights with about 10 hours sleep, very tired. No real plan in mind, just went out to the golf tournament on the last day, stood there with the painting, had a lot of the media coming up to me wondering what the story was basically, and long story short, got to Dare Manor, got to hand it to the man himself, thanks to JP McManus who introduced me to Tiger, and Tiger was ecstatic with the painting. I was surprised by his reaction. He was actually very warm, a gentleman, blown away by the painting, even commented on the hairs on the forearm and joked that I painted him looking 10 years younger, so I was happy with that. He took it home with him and he has it hanging up in his house.
I think we've managed to cover a fair cross-section of the country this evening and the artistic endeavours in those different places. It's always a pleasure to showcase the creativity and the hard work of Irish craftspeople. Well, that's it from us for this evening. Beimid an Arsliv an Luan, agus Kadishan on a Henyor of Wurin, agus o Hillsborough, Gunda an Dún, Iwahagwif, agus Bioctera Shaftana Dasgwif.